So, hello and welcome to the Elite Vortex Racing Formula 1 Round 2, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're going to have a 19 driver grid for today, as we can see the drivers coming out here, and we're just ready to go and kick off qualifying just a few minutes time. So we're now starting. In just a couple of seconds we'll get underway for qualifying. So yeah, let's do this. We're ready to go. Here in Azerbaijan, last weekend we saw Nolan come out on top. Montana came out in second and is the championship leader, as Nolan is a reserve driver. Nolan's not racing today, so Montana will look to extend his championship lead over the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And there is a bit of light rain on the beginning of qualifying. There's a bit of rain on the pit lane, and it'll be interesting to see if the drivers are coming out on the intermediate tires or on the wets. We'll see for the first one that comes out. So we're waiting for the drivers to come out to the pits and do their laps. They're still probably deciding the tyres that they're going to use. It is not much rain on the sides, to be honest. And there's someone going out, and that is Diego's going out on the softs. So the rain is not enough for the wet tyres, as they feel. Other cars are coming out on softs as well. So it is a very light rain indeed. So the drivers are coming out on the dry tyres. And yes, no one on wets nor intermediate. And we see right here Vaporeon off the track. Now he resets and is going to come back on his outlap. So the first one that's going to cross the line will be Diego, as he's down on the beginning of sector 2 still. We don't know for this rain how much is it going to last, how effective is it going to be, but it'll sure be really effective on this beginning of qualifying. See many drivers already out on the track, but our attention's going to turn out to Diego, the first driver coming out, and there's a yellow flag in sector 2. It's once again Vaporeon that is off the track down at turn that's turn 7, just before the castle. He's already kept it going. So Diego's going to come out onto the long straight to begin his flying lap, and he's going to be the first one to begin it. As here comes Diego round down the main straight, and there's one of the Ferraris coming out right now. It's Jost, but Diego will make it behind him without losing time behind the Ferrari. And we're kicking things off here. It's the beginning of the lap for Diego. So he's going out there into sector 1, the Alfa Romeo driver. Don't think he raced in round 1, and now with Alfa Romeo having a a chance of maybe getting some good points for the team or anything. And there's another yellow flag, that is Vaporeon into the pits, as it should be. He's probably had wing damage or something. As you can see, the times are slower as to a normal dry track. So on the first sector, the Renault behind, which is Raikkonen, I think. No, it's not. It's Gui, and I think he's done the best first sector so far. And who is the Toro Rosso just behind them? It's Lewis on the medium tires, and he's done a 42.6 over the first sector. And they're now down to Diego again, and he's going out now to end sector 2. Only 2 more corners to go to end the sector. He's now going to come onto this tricky left-hander. Pretty easy to get some damage if you get some oversteer on it. And he's going to come out to do a 125.8, and apparently the rain has stopped, or at least it got tinier. It's not very effective. As you can see, Lion is already ready with the inter tires. Oh, and Lewis is out. Lewis has crashed on one of the penultimate corners, and he is out of qualifying, so he's not going to be able to set a lap out here. He was trying to make it on the mediums. As you see, Diego does a 151.3. As you see now for Geen, he's going to come out to a 148. That is the best lap we have seen so far today. Now we're on to VRT Raikkonen for his first lap of qualifying. He's the next one to cross the line. Opening the DRS around the final straight, and he's gonna go second fastest, 150.3. So now on to Sim, finishing the lap. It's still mixed conditions out here. Maybe the dries are still faster, and Sim's gonna come out and do a 148.2. That is the fastest lap of the day. It is 0.051 faster than the Renault driver's lap. So who's going to be next to come out onto the line? It's Luke. Luke on the medium tires. You see, yeah, his lap is not good. He's already over 2 minutes. So won't be surprised if he comes into the pits. And he does. So Luke into the pits. Next one behind him is the Ferrari that seems to be Will. It is. So Will's going to come out on the final straight out here. He is on quite a decent lap out here. Might be able to beat Sim if he can push really hard on the final sector right here. And the rain does not seem to stop. It's still a very light rain, but it's not stopping. Will goes third, and right behind him is the Renault, but both Renaults have completed a lap already. Then Guy does another lap. He goes fastest again. He put fuel in for one more lap. You can see now Diego into the pits. One of the McLarens right behind. It was Lion that tried to go in the intermediate tires. Didn't work out for him, and he's back on the pits. Now it's VRT Raikkonen finishing the lap, goes second. So Renault currently with a 1-2. So now it's Sim finishing another lap here. He's 0.3 up on his time, and he should go into the pits here. Yes, he is going into the pits. And yeah, got a good beginning for Renault. As you can see, Fuku did not set a lap. He's into the pits on the medium tires. The rain does seem to be lighter than it was at the beginning of qualifying, but it does not seem to stop. And the other Ferrari on the track is Will. Not much track action right now. Will is a bit up on his time. He's already slowed down and not going to complete his lap. Now, the two Renaults are still clogging in fast laps here, or not? No, they're not. So you see VRT Raikkonen. No, he's not setting a fast lap here. So they're probably going to wait for this rain to go out, and then we can have a qualifying session on dry conditions. maybe at the end of qualifying. They still have 10 minutes to go out here. And currently only 5 drivers setting times. It is Guy with the fastest lap of a 1:46.8. And you can see someone firing up, coming out onto the track, and it's the Toro Rosso Sim again, back onto the track, again on the soft compound tires. And right behind him there are more cars coming out. There is one of the Williams, that is Chapelil, he is coming out now, as well as the McLaren of Montana. And so we should have an exciting one here on this run. Montana letting other cars through, that is Luke and one of the Hasses, which seem to be Jordan. It is Jordan. Oh, and someone's gone off. Is that Luke gone off on turn 3? It is. He's come back to the track safely. Not a big deal for him. The rain has stopped. We're not seeing any more rain on the site here. So Luke is going to look to set a lap. He tried on the mixed conditions on the first run. Didn't work out well for him. So he's down on 18th. He needs to set a lap here, but there's still plenty of time for him to set a lap. The Sim is already going into the straight to begin his flying lap, with Chapelil behind him, and then right behind them is the Haas of Jordan. Then comes NSX Montana, VFG Luke. So here comes Sim. We're gonna go with him for this lap. We'll go on board with him for a second. And he finishes off sector 1 3 seconds below his time. Chapelil is going to go 34.7 on the first sector. We'll see now for Jordan, 35.1. There's a runner behind on the outlap. Then it's Montana just behind them, and Montana does a 34.8. Behind him is Luke, and Luke does a 35.0. So I think Sim is the fastest car out here on this run. As it goes to end sector 2, he's going to do a 1:14.5. Chapelil behind him, and let's see what can Chap do out here. 1:14.4. He's 1/10 down on Sim through the second sector. Sim is now on the straight, and he's pushing hard, trying to get a good lap out of here. And Sim down on the straight is going to do a 1:38.3. Chapelil right behind on the DRS, going to finish the lap right now, and Chap is going to go fastest, 1:38.2. Right behind him the Haas of Jordan, and Jordan will go third with a 1:38.5. Then it'll be Luke next. I wonder what happened to Montana. Oh no, Montana was there. He finished his lap on 1:37.8. We didn't see him. Luke does a 1:38.4. Then behind him is one of the Alfa Romeos, which is Vaporeon, and he's coming out to finish his lap, and he goes second, 1:38.0. So Montana currently with the fastest lap. Then Lion goes second. The two Mercedes now coming. Alpamot goes 8th, and Thomas goes second, 1:37.9. Still a pretty good lap by him, and it looks like the Red Bull is going into the pits there. And here's Dylan finishing his lap. He's going to go 5th with a 1:38.1. Then comes the two Ferraris of Jost and Will. It is Will going to come out first, and he's going to do the fastest lap of 1:37.5. Jost's going to go third. So great laps here by the two Ferrari drivers. it's Diego coming out, finishing a lap now. Fruitful Coot's going to go 5th. The track seems to get better and better just as time goes by, and that is Will spun out, and just after the second corner Will has spun. He's still with the fastest time, which he's going to look to hold for the rest of qualifying. Midnight and Brett have not set laps yet, so Will currently on provisional pole by nearly 3/10 over Montana. Then now Guy goes second with a, and he's gonna do a 1:37.8. I wonder where's his teammate Raikkonen, and Raikkonen is still on the first sector. He's finishing off a first sector here, and the next car, it is a McLaren. It's not Montana, it is the McLaren of Lyon. He's in the pits as well. The two Mercedes are coming in. There's Raikkonen, who should be finishing a lap about now, going into the castle section. He currently has a 1:47.6, but that was a lap yet on fast conditions. And look how he gets on the curbs, attacking the curbs. A 1:13.8, and he's down by 9/10 on his lap. He might just go for a provisional pole here as he's round the final corners and opening the DRS, and he's going to go through over the line in just a few seconds time. Raikkonen, who's 16th, and he's now going to go second, just misses out on Will's time. It is a 1:37.6. Still a pretty good lap time for him, as now nearly all the drivers making their way back to the pits. There's the Ferrari of Will heading back, as well as the Renault of Guy. And Will comes in. There is the Alfa Romeo going out, and that seems to be Vaporeon. As well as many other cars coming out for their runs. Midnight and Brett are both on their out laps to try and do their first lap of the session. Everyone must go out right about now so that they can set another flying lap and get another shot at pole. Is VRT Raikkonen going to come back to the pits? He's not doing another lap on this qualifying, so it's not pole for him, unfortunately. Unless he has enough fuel to do another run. Maybe he has, but we'll see about that. There are three cars still, the two cars still stopped on the pit lane, and that, yeah, there is one Toro Rosso now, which is Lewis, who's already retired. And here comes Raikkonen. We think he should be going into the pits, but we don't know yet. Yeah, he's backing off. He should go into the pits now. And here's Brett, going to be the first one to come out on the flying runs. And meanwhile, one of the Mercedes has crashed out on the end of Sector 2. He's managed to keep it going as Brett's going to start his lap here. Raikkonen's back to the pits, not setting another lap today on qualifying. So provisionally second for him. We're now going to see for Brett on his first lap of the day, as Brett is going to go out into turn 1. Well, it's smooth out here, starting the lap. He's down and last. He needs a good lap out here. Lewis should start last if Brett can finish this lap. Midnight has also started his lap out here. We have Brett finishing off the first sector. It's the final corner of the first sector here for Brett. And there's many cars holding themselves up on sector 3. He's done a 34.5. That should be the fastest sector of today. Midnight though has gone even better. Midnight is improving on Brett's time, and Brett seems to be on a great lap as well as he goes through the castle section now. Very smooth indeed. going off the castle section now, full throttle, 2 high-speed corners, then a corner to end sector 2, and he's going to come out now for this turn 13, and qualifying is over, the time is down, and Brett has done a 1:14.2 over the second sector. Now Midnight goes a 1:13.3. He's going to be in a good lap and looking set to maybe take pole position here, as Brett is ending his lap right now. He's going to go onto the main straight, open the DRS, and through the end of the lap, where's Brett going to be? That's going to be 8th for him. How about Midnight? Midnight crossing the line now and goes onto pole, 1:37.1. Vaporeon goes second, 1:37.2. And there's the Toro Rosso of Sam going to finish his lap, and Sam goes fastest. Sam goes fastest, a 1:36.7, the fastest lap of the day by far. One of the Mercedes now is Alpamut, going to go 6th. And one of the Alphas looks to be Diego, finishing a lap now, is going to go 4th. Then another Mercedes, it's Thomas, going to go 2nd, and there's Montana also finishing a lap. Jordan's going to go 3rd. Where is Dylan? Also, Dylan beats his teammate, goes 3rd. Chaparral, though, is going to go 6th, just behind Midnight. Luke is still on a flying lap. That's Fruit for Coot going to finish his lap in 7th. Lion goes up to 4th. And there is Montana going to 4th. Yost up to 2nd. Luke's going to go 14th. And qualifying is over. Pole position for Sim. And what a lap that was. Sam goes on to pole position here in Baku by quite a distance here. No, not by a big distance, but it was a pretty good lap. Yost goes 2nd on the Ferrari. Thomas goes 3rd, and they're all separated by less than a 1/10 of a second. So these 3 cars are looking to have a pretty good just a second. Alright, we're back here, and the race about to start. And it looks sunny, it looks to be a clean race for today. We're going to start the formation lap about now. So formation lap is beginning. Sam's going to lead the field here. Yost in 2nd, Thomas 3rd, Montana in 4th, Dylan in 5th, Lion in 6th, Jordan 7th, Chaparral 8th, Will is 9th, Fruit Fukut is 10th, Midnight 11th, Vaporeon 12th, Geese 13th, Diego 14th, and he's already off the track on the formation lap, Luke 15th, Raikkonen 16th, Alpamut 17th, Brett 18th, and Lewis is last and 19th. He did not get to complete a lap on qualifying. So onto the race start. There's a very short run down into turn 1, so Sam can just get a good start out here. Might just be able to hold the lead into turn 1 maybe for the rest of the race. He did not have such a good first round in Bahrain. He did not get any points on that round. So right now, finishing the formation lap, here's Sam the leader. He's going to lead us into the green flags, and we're just going to wait until they start forming up on the grid, and the lights will go out in just a few seconds time. Jost also in second. He did not get any points after the last round. He had a collision on early stages in Bahrain, and he's probably going to look for revenge, as well as Sim. Thomas has some good 15 points as a podium. Montana, of course, second place, leading the championship. He's going to want to hold on to his lead. Dylan finished 6th last time around, has 8 points. Then it's Lion in 6th. He finished 5th last time around. And yeah, we're set now to start. The last car, Lewis, is arriving on the grid now, and we're gonna get set for lights out just now. So here we go then. 26 laps. And the lights are out. Away we go. Sam did manage to get a good start, but Jost outraces him into turn 1. Jost's going to get the lead. Going into turn 1 now, takes advantage of the inside line to cover him off. Thomas is now battling with Sam for second place down into turn 2. They managed to go out cleanly at the front. Thomas down to 3rd, Montana down to 4th. Lion manages to get past Dylan for 5th place. Dylan is still there battling. But here comes Thomas, still trying to get that second place for Sam, not quite doing so. And there is a collision behind us. Rufakut and Will dropping back. They've crashed in turn 2. Jost has managed to get a pretty good start, and it is the start that he wanted on the very beginning of this race. Jost leads the field from Sam, Thomas, Montana, Lion, Jordan, Dylan, Chavalil, Midnight and Guy completing the top 10 on the first lap. As they're going to go into the castle section now. It is Thomas leading the race. Jost leading the race, and he's already got 9/10 of a gap to Sam. And yeah, that's a very good start for Jost, very differently of what he had on the last round. And we can see one of the Red Bulls going very slow. That's Brett. He has a wing damage. He has a lot of wing damage. He's lost all of his front wing, and you can see him understeering over the corners. Will goes past him. He's down into last, and Jost's going to come out to complete lap 1 with a 1 second gap to Sim. Thomas in 3rd, Montana 4th, Lion 5th, and nothing changed since we announced what was the top 10. It looks like there are many cars coming into the pits. That's Luke, Vaporeon, Lewis. They're all coming in to the pits. I wonder what has happened to them. Brett is also going to come in, obviously, to change his front wing, but their retirements on lap 1, as there are 4 cars on the pits on lap 1. Not a big mayhem, but still pretty bad for them. Luke did not get points on the last round, unfortunately, as Brett missed out on points as well. Vaporeon finished 8th in Bahrain. He's not having the same luck today, and Lewis also did not get points over the last round, and you're still extending that lead to Sam, and Sam is also getting a good distance to Thomas behind, and Thomas is not being able to get a good gap to Montana. So the top 9 is pretty close to each other with gaps with nearly less than a second. Midnight, the gap between Midnight and Guy is the only one that is really big, and look, the two Hasses battling. Dylan trying to get past his teammate out here on these two fast left right-handers. He's now going to drop back and Chapelil is going to pass him for 7th place. Chapelil has got the position. Meanwhile, Jordan is trying to battle. Montana is going to go past Thomas ahead. Montana goes into turn 1 and gets past Thomas. Jordan gets past Lion behind, and Chapelil 7th, Dylan in 8th, Midnight is still in 9th. Now Lion is losing a couple of places here. He's lost out to Chapelil. He tried to make a move on Jordan, lost out. Now Midnight is going to try to get ahead of him. No, he's not. There's still a battle between Midnight and Dylan. Midnight manages to come out in front, so Midnight still gets 1 position over this course of battles. Dylan lost quite many places here. I think he lost 2 positions on all those battles. I think he lost out to both of the Williams, didn't he? And right behind there is a battle between Lewis and Luke, and Luke has got passed by Lewis. Lewis up into 16th, and they're going to hope for some luck so they can get a couple of points after this nightmare start for them. As there's a yellow flag in sector 2, someone has slowed down, and that is Food for Good, and will again making contact. Does not seem to have a lot of damage to their cars. The front wing seems to be intact. We'll check out now. Oh, there's a bit of damage to Coot on the left side of his front wing. He's going to try to carry on, maybe going into the pits. I don't think this damage is worthy of a pit to fix it. As now there is a battle between Alpamut and VRT Raikkonen. No, VRT Raikkonen is into the pits. Diego gets past Guy for 10th place, and onto the points goes Diego, and looking to have a solid racetrack here. Did not participate in round 1, neither did Guy, and they're both looking to get their first points of the season. Meanwhile, Midnight really close to Lion. Midnight's going to try to get past him. Can he do it? He got a great run from turn 3, but not quite able to get past the McLaren of Lion onto turn 4. So now ending the first sector, completing the first sector, lap 4. Meanwhile, Yost is all the way ahead, and he's got a pretty solid gap to Sam. It's not going up nor going down, that gap. So Yost's going to look to carry that pace until the end of the race, so he can get a win here. If he can do it, he would be probably behind Montana and Thomas still on the championship, as Montana finished 2nd and Thomas 3rd on the last time. And Montana's pretty close to Sem. He's got a good run to begin the straight. He's probably going to get past Sem on the DRS at the end of the straight. As we can see, he's on board now, pretty close to the Toro Rosso of Sem. Thomas is also pretty close to Montana. This is going to be good into turn 1, isn't it? Thomas opening the DRS, Montana opening the DRS. They're both getting past Sem. Sem goes into the pits. Is Thomas going to try to attack Montana here? No, he's not. Sem dives into the pits already on the soft tires, and to what tire is he going to switch? He's going for the hard tire, so he's probably going to try to make it to the end of the race. Thomas trying to make a move on Montana. No, he's not. He's still a bit too far behind the McLaren of Montana. Now Montana needs to push to try and catch Yost, as he hasn't got the Toro Rosso of Sim anymore. You wouldn't say hold him up, but now he's got a bit of free air, a bit of clean air ahead of him. It's now Jordan up to 4th, and oh, there's a crash. There's Brett on the first sector, spun out in turn 1. He's managed to keep it going back on the track. No retirement so far. This has been a clean race. Thomas trying to, oh, it was just for us to say Brett retires from the session, and he was all the way down in last place with a lot of wing damage, so he retires from the race. He's probably not going to get any points from it as well. But now we can see Thomas trying to get close to Montana. The gap 0.5 of a second, reducing as they go onto the straight. He might be able to make a move right here. Is it time to pit for one of these drivers? Montana's going to go into the pits. Thomas says, thank you very much. I'll have the DRS through the first straight. And that was pretty helpful for him, as now we're going to see if Montana and where is Sim going to come out. He's making a move on Fruitful Coot. And Montana still in the pits. And Sim, oh, this is going to be a tight battle. Montana going out, Sim finishing off turn 1. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 2. Montana gets the inside line, gets the advantage, and he is ahead of the Toro Rosso of Sim. Sim should have DRS now to try and make a move into turn 3. He does, and he's going to try it all on the outside. Does not quite work out for him. Montana brilliantly getting a place and avoiding an undercut attempt from Sim. Montana also onto the hard tires. Now Jordan is going to go up to 3rd, Chaparral up to 4th, then Lion in 5th, Midnight is 6th. Dylan has also pitted, so he's not on that battle for now. As Fruitful Coot has also gone into the pits as he fixed the wing damage that he had. Going to look out now, and he did fix his wing after 2 collisions with Will. So now Thomas 1.4 behind Yost, and that is a good gap. He's gained quite some time to Yost on this lap. As we see, is Yost going to come into the pits? Yes, he is. Now Watford Thomas is also coming in, so it can be a very tight battle between Montana, Sim and Thomas as they're going to exit the pits. And there's a yellow flag in sector 3. No, that was not a huge accident. Not much happening now as Yost and Thomas are going to come out with Sim and Montana. Sim and Montana are both ahead of Thomas. Yost is 1 second ahead of Montana. Montana is going to want to have a pretty good lap this time around, and he's going to want to take advantage that Yost is on cold tires and try to get on DRS range so you can defend from Sim more easier and maybe try to fight for provisional lead of the race. The driver is still remaining. Only Lion is on the soft tires. Meanwhile, Midnight is on the mediums, Diego's on the mediums, Yi is on the hards, Lion on softs, Alpamot on mediums, and then Izios already in 6th position. Only 5 drivers haven't pitted so far on this race, most of them going for a one-stop strategy, soft to hard. And Montana is not doing what he wanted. Oh, and there's a safety car. Vaporeon and Luke have both retired from the race. And I wonder what happened to them. In the cancel section, I think. Yes. In the cancel section, they're both retiring from the race. And there's a safety car. This could play brilliantly into the hands of Midnight Diego. Not much for Giz. He's going to have to fit a tire other than the hards. So he's not going to make it to the end of the race on the tyres he's going to fit. Also very good for Lion and Alpamont as they're going to go into the pits. Yost should get past them, but they should gain these 5 should gain quite a handful of places out here on the pits. Midnight is going to come out now, and he's, oh, look at this, he's been backed off by the other cars. Diego's going to come out in 6th position, just behind Chaparral and Dylan. Gies in 7th, Lion 8th, Alpamuk 9th, and Will is in 10th position. Midnight has dropped to 11th. Very bad luck for him as he got held on the pits. And Gies going for the mediums. He should not go to the end of the race. I don't really think he should have pitted that time around, as he could have stayed out. He'd still do 1 pit anyway, 1 stop, so he would be at the front right now. But you're still in front, and oh, look at this, Sam ahead of Thomas. Where is Montana? Montana's dropped down to 14th. You only notice it now. Has he gone into the pits again? What happened to him? He's all the way down in 14th. We did not notice what happened to Montana, but he's on the mediums, so he's not going to go into the end on those tires. Maybe he did a mistake and we missed it, and that is pretty bad for the championship leader. Thomas now looking set to take the championship lead away from Montana, as he's in 3rd position, looking very comfortable indeed. Oh, he's on the medium tires as well. So, oh, Jost also on the mediums. So, are they going to make it to the end of the race? That's very unlikely. And will the hard tires Sim make it to the end? He's pitted on lap 4. He's probably making a gamble for many safety cars here, and gonna try to save his tires as much as he can during safety car period. Chaparral on the hards. He's gonna try to limp it to the end of the race. We'll see how old are the tires of each driver. Sim's hards are 3 laps old. Chaparral's 1 lap. Dylan 2 laps. And the ones behind pitted just now, excluding Will and Raikkonen. But some of them should go on a 2-stopper. See Raikkonen diving into the pits, as well as Guy. Guy's back to the pits. Oh, and he's going to fit the hards right out. So that's quite a smart move for the Renault driver. Oh, and he's going to hold up his teammate. He is. He's going to hold up his teammate here. And Raikkonen's going to get held up in the pits. Now he's going to switch his tires to softs. He's going for the soft compound tires, which is quite a weird strategy. He's definitely not making it to the end of this race. I wonder what is Renault trying to do, as they got a good plan in hands for Raikkonen, as he's going to try to catch up to the safety car queue in time. Jost still leads, and he's got 2 laps of his tires fresher than Sim. It's saying that he's on the hards, but on the game, on the car, shows that he's on the mediums. But that's pretty weird. He should have fitted the hard tires. So as it shows on the graphic, all of the top 10 was on hard tires, but some cars are having a weird glitch of showing the medium tires. So we don't really know what tires are they, but probably that is the hard compound. Don't think they would do a 2-stop strategy at this point. Not the front runners. Jordan has fall down the order, and he's fall back massively. He was battling with Dylan and Chaparral. He should have been 4th by now. And there's a bit of carbon fiber there. That's a bit of wing damage, and safety cars coming in on this lap. So Jost now going to back up the field a little bit, and Sim just behind him, as we are going now to fly off on the straight. The safety car now going to come back into the pit, and we're going to get racing once he does so. Is Jost going to come out on the right, on the fast right-hander, and the safety car already going into the pits, as he's already on full throttle and ready to go. He's caught Sam napping a little bit. Sam has got a gap here to Jost, and here comes Thomas trying to get a move on Sam right here as they're going into turn 1. Thomas trying to find a gap to pass. Sam can't do it, so Sam did not get such a good start, and Dylan's in the pits. Dylan into the pits. He was on the hard tires. He's going to change his front wing. Was that piece of damage from I think that is turn 13. Was that piece of damage from his front wing? Very likely it was, and that can be heartbreaking for Dylan, as he may lose a couple of points out here on the beginning of this race, as we are still lap 10, and VLT Raikkonen still dropping back. He's got passed by Jordan and Lewis as shown on the graphic. Yoss still leads after the restart. Sam is on DRS range, but of course DRS is only going to be activated, only going to be reactivated in lap 12, just 2 laps after the safety car came in, so that everyone does not get a free DRS just after the safety cars. They're all, look at this, they're all down on less than a second of gap to each other, unless other than Dylan, which had to pit, so he's 17 seconds down. As look, Montana's having a go. Will into 10, 14, and Montana has done it. Got past Will, and Will seems to be struggling here. Guy's gone past him as well. I wonder what's happening to the Ferrari driver. Fruit for Coot is also getting past him. Here's Jordan, gonna go past him as well. He's getting passed by everyone. He might just have a big problem here on his hands, and they make contact, and that is Fruit for Coot into the barriers. There was no gap for Lewis to go out. There's then more contact for Jordan and VR2 Raikkonen. There's a lot of debris on the track, and Jordan has got some wing damage. Lewis should have wing damage as well. He does not. Raikkonen has quite a lot of wing damage. Jordan lets him past, and Jordan might just have a big deal right here. Coot with huge damage to the right side of his front wing, and that can be massive implications for him on the championship, as Jordan with less wing damage trying to get past him. And that was a bit scruffy out there. Will was not going at all very fast. Alongside him was Fruit for Coot. Lewis was trying to find a gap to get past him, tried to go on the outside, but Fruit for Coot was there. They made contact, and it all ended up to be bad for Fruit for Coot out here, as Lewis does not seem to have wing damage at all. As they're all still pretty close to each other. Chappellot especially really close to Thomas, but they're both getting DRSs, so it's not going to be an easy job for him to get past the Mercedes. He's going to try it all with the slipstream. They're both having DRS. Thomas having DRS from Sim ahead. And with the DRS, oh no, DRS isn't open just yet. Oh, we forgot about that. But here comes Midnight down the, Chappellot, sorry, down the inside, and he cannot make it. He spun himself, and Chappellot's out. Chappellot, while trying to fight for a podium place, he's out of this race. Oh, and that's going to be gutting for him, as he's come back after missing race 1, and he is already out. Safety car is deployed once again, and there seem to be many drivers in the pits. They've taken advantage of the safety car, and that might have all fallen greatly into their hands. Chappellot a bit over aggressive on the throttle, maybe over turn 1, and that is gutting for him. He is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Chappellot, Vaporian, Luke and Brett are out of this race. We have 15 cars still running, and you're still on the lead since lap 1. Oh, and Jordan's got a penalty for collision with VRT Raikkonen. 5-second time penalty. I think that's the first penalty we see today. And we're gonna see right here, warning, warning, warning. I don't seem to see a penalty here. Yeah, only Jordan having a 5-second time penalty until now. So the drivers managing to get it out clean. Most of them getting a warning. If they get 3 warnings for a corner cut, and they get a 3-second time penalty. So they're going to look to be careful about that. As the safety car on the track for the 2nd time today, and we're still on lap 12, so we're not even on halfway through this race. Seems like it's going to be a long one, and Yoss going to come into the pits. Sam stays out, Thomas stays out, Diego stays out, Midnight, where's Midnight? Staying out as well. Everyone stayed out. Yost has opted to come in again. and he's going to fit the medium tires. It is shown now on the graphics this time correctly. He is on the mediums, so Sam leads the race now from Thomas and Diego in third, Midnight fourth, Alpamakt in fifth, Montana in sixth, Guy in seventh, Lewis in eighth, Jost down into ninth, and what has happened to Lion as well? He's gone down into 10th place. Dylan, who pitted on the previous safety car, is in 11th. Will, who's not having a great race today, is he? He's down in 12th. Fruit Foucault already involved in 3 accidents so far. He's down at 13th. VRT Raikkonen in 14th. Jordan in 15th. So Montana might just go to the end of the race on those medium tires. And will he make it? He has 5 laps on those tires. The other guys ahead on the hards, they are looking set to finish the race strongly on those tires. I'm not sure about Montana though. It is going to be tight for him. He might make it. Dylan should also make it if the medium tires can last those many laps, under the safety car of course. Jost, if the medium tires are to last long, so Jost is making it to the end. We're still on the safety car here. We're going to finish lap 13, and Sam, who took pole, lost out the lead for Jost, is now back on the lead after the Ferrari driver comes back in the pits. So Sam, just like yours, did not get points on the first round. Gonna look for revenge right here. So this time might just be able to snatch a win right here. He is in the prime position to win it. Diego is having a brilliant race. Where did he start? He's gained 11 positions on this race. Alpamakt has gained 12. Lewis, after retiring on qualifying, is now 8th, so he's gained 11 places as well. We're having many big movers out here today. Diego on a very good race started 14th and is now in 3rd position on the podium spots. That is a very good result for Alpha and Diego. But yeah, Diego not a main driver here, so we don't think he is able to get points to officially get points on the board, but we're not sure about that, as he is on the place of Josh. Thomas and Sam battling for the entire race very cleanly, and Sam currently on top of this battle. As you can see, everyone's still under the safety car here, and we're just going to wait until the announcement of safety car is going to come in this lap. Fruit Foucault, who had a pretty strong weekend in Bahrain, he got 12 points. He was P4 that day, but he's not having the same luck today. Safety car is going to come in this lap. Remember, as well as last time around, DRS will be inactive for 2 laps afterwards. For 2 laps after the safety car is gone, so DRS will be reactivated on lap 17 unless we get another safety car until then. Sam there, weaving up, leading the pack as they're going green once again for the second time today. He's trying to hold up Thomas as much as possible here. As they go racing now, Sam has got quite a good distance from Thomas. Diego's right on the tail of Thomas as well. No one looking to do a move into turn 1. Raikkonen has got a 5-second time penalty for collision with Jordan. Now Alpamack has lost quite a bit of control of his car as he spun. He has, no, he's lost quite a couple of places here. Oh, and that's Jost in the wall. He might have lost a bit of his front wing right there. He's battling with Alpamack. No, he has not lost his front wing. It's still intact. And he is ahead of the Mercedes. Lion also ahead. So Montana now up to 5th. Lewis and Guy still battling for 6th here. This is brilliant racing between the Toro Rosso and the Renault, fighting until the end of Sector 1. Who's going to come out on top of this? They're fighting side by side for nearly the whole lap, but Guy comes out on top of this battle. Sam has got a big distance. It's 9/10, 1 second on the lead against Thomas, and Diego is 7/10 behind Thomas. Midnight 4/10 behind Diego. Montana 5 behind Midnight. The pack again seems to be very close. Jordan had a collision again. Does not have wing damage, but he's 13 seconds down on Raikkonen. Raikkonen also seemed to have a collision. Dylan did not make up many places. Alpamack did not get yeah, he had a little bit, he lost control on between turns 1 and 2. And look at this, it's Montana getting close to Midnight. That is the battle for 4th place. Here is Montana going to try to get past Midnight into turn 1. Yes, he is going down the inside. Midnight leaves him space and they're both going into turn 1, into turn 2. Wheel to wheel still. No DRS for the time being. Montana gets the lead. Midnight's going for the crossover move. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Although there's no cars in Sector 3, Montana goes up into 4th. Midnight seemed to have a look, does not make it. And Montana keeps his 4th place that he gained in turn 2. A brilliant move by Montana, really smart by him, as there's a battle between Fruitful and Dylan, as yeah, Fruitful is going to come out ahead. He is on fresher tires. Raikkonen is back to the pits once again. How many stops has he done this time around? He's done 5 stops so far, just like Jordan. They both have done 5 stops. With all the safety cars, with all the collisions, it is 5 stops with just over half of the race gone. And there's a virtual safety car on the track. How many do we need for today? That's way too many safety cars for a race. Sim still having a pretty good gap to Thomas. And Montana seemed to be very close to Diego. He might just have had lost a chance of trying to go to 3rd here. This is a brilliant race so far. Oh, and we still have 10 laps to go on this race. Virtual safety car here. They need to keep below the delta time for the virtual safety car. If they don't, they get, I think, a drive-through penalty. If they're going to finish lap 16 under virtual safety car. And Lewis is in the pits and they're back racing now as the pack gets back to racing speed. DRS is enabled. Montana was able to open it, but Midnight is now really close to the back of the McLaren. Might just have a shot of going into turn 3. No, he doesn't. He prefers to stay on this position, stay in 5th. Is he going to try to move right here? No, he's not. And Montana still leading the race. Sorry. He's down at he's still in 4th. With an extra stop compared to the top 5. Only him has done 2 stops so far. So Montana's doing a pretty good race. If he can get a good result here compared to Thomas, if he can get past Diego, he can keep the championship lead. Who's got the fastest lap now? I think it's Jost. We're going to see right now who has the fastest lap. It is Lewis with the fastest lap, but he's currently not on the point, so he's not scoring any bonus points for the fastest lap. As Montana really close to Diego this time around, might just have a go at the end of the straight. He's 3/10 down on the Alfa Romeo as he's on the fast left-right handers. Now he's going to open the DRS just shortly, might just be able to get past the Alfa Romeo. Diego does not have DRS from Thomas, and that is quite an easy move from Montana for third place, and into the podium places goes Montana. Midnight tried to have a go at Diego, couldn't quite do it, holds on to fifth place, and Yost already up into seventh position. That has been a good comeback by him after making an extra stop under the safety car. Now we're still seeing if that was the right choice for Yost to make an extra stop. I don't know if Sim is going to make it to the end of the race, as there's a yellow flag in sector 1, and there's no one slowing down at all, nothing going on so far. So here we are then, Sim leading by 1.6. It's a pretty good gap to Thomas, and Montana on a charge now. He's already reaching up to Thomas and 7/10 behind him. It's gonna have DRS. If you can get a bit close, I might just have a shot at going over the next straight. You can see he has a lot of battery to deploy. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and it is the Haas of Dylan down, and he's retired down after turn 10. Dylan retires from the session. He was running in 11th or 12th, and now another virtual safety car, and another time when Montana was trying to get past someone and is now missing out on the opportunity. Dylan retires from the race. We now have 5 drivers retired. It is Dylan, Chapelil, Vaporeon, Luke and Brett retired from the race. 14 cars running. It's Montana in third position, having a pretty good charge up the field. He got past Diego, got past Midnight, got past Guy, and he is doing an impressive charge so far after the restart. So we're back into racing speed now. VSC ended, and Montana's now going back, trying to catch up to Thomas. You can see he has a lot of battery to deploy. Yeah, but Thomas has a full battery charge here. He's on the 0 deploy, so you can have a lot of battery to deploy over the main straight to defend from Montana. He knows that Montana cannot get past here on these couple of corners. Now they're all going into 5, maybe 4 of deployment. Maybe they thought Montana was going to try to make a move over this little straight. Look how he goes over the curb, jumps off. His car lifted on the air for a little bit here, and Thomas in second place gonna have to hold up Montana here. Montana has some battery to deploy to get past him, and Thomas in second place. He's gonna want to defend here from Montana. It's gonna be a tough job to do here. Montana opens the DRS and he sails past Thomas for second place. Montana's doing a great comeback through the field. Now he is 2 seconds behind Sim. Can he catch up to the Toro Rosso and challenge for the race win here? As you can see, Lion got past Yost. They're still battling here. Yost got the place back into turn 2. They're side by side, and Lion's gone into the wall, and he's come back and hit Yost once again. None of them has got DRS. Lewis improves on the fastest lap, and Yost holds on to 8th place. Has he got damage? Lion surely has, but Yost hasn't, as we can see. And Lion with some damage to the wing on the right side, I think. Yes, it is. The side that he hit on the barriers. Pretty bad hit by him. As you can see, Montana is cutting the gap by a 10th since the start of the lap. We got past Thomas. He's already opened 8/10 of a gap to Thomas. Midnight is close to Diego. Might just have a go at 4th place here. Geese close to both of them, and yeah, they go now on to 10, 13, up into 14 now. Thomas over a second behind Montana. Montana's flying around here. There's 7 laps to go, about to be 6 when Sam crosses the line. Sam still having not too bad of a lead right here. It is a 1.9 lead, and it's going to go up into 2 seconds to Montana. It is 2 seconds of a gap between Sam and Montana. Sam going to try to hold up the lead for the last couple of laps here. Midnight did not get past Diego, and Yost gets past Lion. Lion's still on the inside, trying to have a go at turn 2. Did they make contact there? Probably so. Fruit for Coot is now on Lion's tail. Lion has DRS once again to try and catch up to Yost. Fruit for Coot's going to try to get in there as well. And Lion's going to go down the inside, and they make contact. They make repeated contact after turn 3. They're going still wheel to wheel into turn 4. Now Lion's going to have the inside line into turn 5. They're both breaking on the point, and they're still wheel to wheel. Now they make contact. Yost gets the place, and Fruit for Coot's going to go to attack Lion here. No, he's not, and he backs off just before the corner and copes off with 9th position. Meanwhile for Montana, he's trying to get the gap down to Sam. We don't see it reducing really much. It's 1.7 the gap right now. It is reducing a little bit, but will it be enough on the last 6 laps of this race? We're going to see the lap times of each driver here. Montana finishing the lap, Sam also finishing it, of course. 1.6 now, so Montana's going 4/10 faster this time around than Sam. The Sam's gaining once again on Montana. Sam just might have a lot of straight line speed. It's a 142.0 for Sam, 141.7 for Montana. He stuck down 3/10 on this lap, and look, Yost and Lion still fighting for 7th place. They've lost a lot of time to the cars in front. Yost's going to keep up with 7th, and Lion is going to try to get back up to him. He's going around the outside. Fruit for Coot is also there looking for a place to go. Lion into turn 3. Yost breaks late. They make contact again. Fruit for Coot tries to find a place to go. He can't go anywhere. And there's Will also going for this battle. Lion goes up into 7th. Yost down to 8th. And Will really smartly getting past Fruit for Coot for 9th place. And it's going to be 1+ point for him if he can finish like that. Meanwhile, for the fastest lap situation, it's still being held by Lewis, and Midnight has got past Diego over the last lap, who is so entertaining. 7th place, and now Lewis has gone past Alphamuct, as we can just see over the castle section, and Alphamuct has lost a bit of his front wing right there. And look at the gap, it's 1.5 for the lead. So apparently Montana's got down 1, maybe 2/10 on this lap. Sam going to finish the lap now, and 142.0 again for him. Also 142.0 for Montana, and is Midnight going to get past Thomas, and he does so. Midnight up into the podium places. Thomas still fighting back. It is the battle for 3rd place here. Thomas does get it. Midnight's going for the crossover. Who's going to have the DRS? It is Midnight who has the DRS and the advantage of the inside, and gets past the Mercedes of Thomas. Midnight up onto the podium places after starting 11th. He has gone up into 3rd place. Diego is in 5th now. He's in 6th. Lion, Yost, Will and Coot hold on to their positions. Now Fruit for Coot's going to try to make a move on Will. No, he's not. Holds up his position. And Lewis with the fastest lap. He needs 1 more position over the last 4 laps here. And I don't think Montana can catch up to Sam at all. unless Sam does a mistake or something like that. So it's been 2 safety cars, 2 virtual safety cars so far in this race. 5 drivers retired, still having 14 in the race. That has been quite a hectic race so far. And there's still 4 laps to go here, a lot of battles until the end. Montana finished second on the last race, trailed Nolan, and is now looking to finish second again, this time trailing a main driver, which is Sim. So he's going to have 37 points after this round. If he finishes like that, Midnight in third, it is his first points of the season. No, it's not, as there's still been a battle right here. Oh, Yoss has lost quite a couple of places here. Yoss is going down. Will's is going to try to get past Lion. They're going full wide into turn 1. That's going to get interesting right there. Yoss gets the worst out of it. Will gets ahead. There's still a battle between Will and Lion. As into turn 2, they're still fighting for the position. Frufikut looking for a place to go. And Yost has fallen back of the fight a little bit, and look at Frufikut going down the inside. No, he's avoided it. Lion breaks late. Oh, and he forced Will into the wall. Frufikut's now going to try to get advantage out of that around the outside. Avoids contact or anything, and Diego eventually got past Thomas here. Thomas seems to be struggling on his tires, and Thomas falling down from 2nd to 5th over a matter of few laps. Montana has lost quite a bit of time to Sim, and that might be crucial to the race ending. Sim looking set to take his first win of the season. And Midnight, we're going to check right here how many points does each driver have. Sim is going to finish lap with a 1.7 lead to Montana. Montana has a 1.6 lead to Midnight, and behind, Guy's already getting close to Thomas as well. Might just have a go at 6th place. The battle for 7th is going, but Thomas has also got DRS from Diego, so not today. It's not going to happen for Guy this time around. As we see the battle for 7th, side by side, already goes Will against Lion. Fruitfikut's going to try to go up there as well on the battle. Fruitfikut gets past Lion, and no, Lion breaks late, tries to make up on Will, can't quite do it. Yost is in the pits, and that puts Lewis on prime position to take the fastest lap point, as now Fruitfikut and Lion both with DRS. It's going to be a drag race into turn 3. Fruitfikut drops back behind. He's going to go for a dive bomb at turn 3. They make contact, and Lion goes into the barriers. Fruitfikut goes up to 8th. Will goes up to 7th, and Lion down into 9th. Oh, what a battle this has been. Yost has fallen down into 12th. He's certainly failed on the strategy game today, and that is not his day to celebrate, not his first points of the season. Midnight finished 10th on the last round, so he's going to cap off this round with 16 points. Montana is going to go up to 17th as Raikkonen goes fastest, and Lewis loses his fastest lap point for the time being. 1.6 gap still on the lead, 1.3 gap between 2nd and 3rd, and Thomas with his position is going to go up into 25 points. Midnight 16, Montana 37, and there's a yellow flag in sector 3, and I wonder who it is. Is it Lewis? It is. Lewis is spun out on the beginning of the straight, has a bit of wing damage as he's going to carry it on to the final lap. Sim opens the final lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and he's having quite a big advantage from Montana. He got pole early on, and it looks to be a first win of the season for Sim. He's going to go up with his 25 points and tied with Thomas if it stays like that. Jordan has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and Lewis has retired. Lewis retires from the session down on the final lap. Oh, that's heartbreaking for him. He's not going to get points, not even one. Sam round the final corners of sector 2. He's onto that fast straight, the two kinks to the left, and Midnight is really close to Montana this time. I wonder what happened. The gap really went down, and Midnight really close to the McLaren of Montana is now on the final turn and onto the main straight goes Sam. Sam took pole early on with a very fast lap of a 1:36.7. The top three of him, Jost and Thomas was separated by less than the 10th. He got pole early on. It is his first win of the season. It's Sam going to win at back. And meanwhile, there's a drag race for second. Midnight gets it on the final seconds of this Grand Prix. What a battle for second over the last second. Midnight gets second place at the last breath. And what a battle that was. Diego finishes 4th. Brilliant race for him after starting 14th. Thomas finishes 5th. Guise 6th. Will finishes 7th on that incredible battle. Fruit only 0.074 down on Will. Finishes in 8th. Lion finishes 9th. And Jordan finishing in 10th position. Final position on the points. Jost, heartbreaking for him, does not get any points out of this round. The strategy game was not his today, as Alpamuk in 12th, and lastly it is VRT Raikkonen going to finish the race, the last car to finish, in 13th. Lewis retired, as well as Dylan, Chapelil, Vaporian, Luke and Brett. And what a win that was for Sim. What a race this was. 2 safety cars, 2 virtual safety cars. This was a long race, but Sam did quite enjoy that one. I do want to see what was the gap between Midnight and Montana. They finished side by side over the final straight. That was incredible racing from both of them, and congratulations to the podium drivers, Sam, Midnight and Montana. Sam with his first win, to 25 points up for him. Montana's going to have the championship lead still with 34 points in the bag. Second will be Sam and Thomas with 25. Then it should be Midnight with 19. Maybe if there's another one. Oh, there's Fruit. Where did Fruit finish? He finished 8th. No, he's got 16 points only. And look at the gap, 0.02 separating second and third today. Midnight and Montana separated by 2 hundredths of a second. Fruit 8th, Will 7th, Guise 6th, Thomas 5th, Diego 4th, Montana 3rd, Midnight 4th, Midnight 2nd, and Sim winning the race. Lion finishing in 9th, and Jordan rounded off the points for today. And that was a pretty exciting race for us today. I wonder what the next race has in store for us, and we do look forward to it. We thank you for watching this amazing race, and we'll see you next time around. See you then.